Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video, and today we're here for episode 4 of the F1 2021 My Team Career Mode, and we are now getting towards the French Grand Prix in Paul Ricard. And if you didn't check out the last episode in Canada, I would recommend that you go see that before this one. We were quite strong in Canada, but then here we are in Paul Ricard. We will move on to quick practice after making a few upgrades to our car that should come up later in the season. So let's move into qualifying. So here I am finishing my first lap in Q1. I'll go across the line. It wasn't the greatest lap in the world. I've only gone P9 behind George Russell. And as we get to the end of the session, I'm down into P21, which is absolutely horrific. But thankfully, I found a lot of improvement on my second run, and I was able to get up into P14. So we're into Q2 for the first time since Baku. And that is absolutely fantastic. I'm going to now move on to Q2, and there's a little bit of a scuffle there right in front of me. I had to slow down, and it completely ruined the rhythm of my lap, but I did manage to finish it anyway. I may as well set a benchmark for myself. I know I'm not going to be qualifying too high here, but at least I can try something. Meanwhile, what on earth has happened here? Apparently Stroll's out of the session. That was absolutely horrific from Stroll. He deserves to be out for that. But now we move on to my final run, gunning across the line here. Where are we going to be? Only P14, and with Perez not doing his lap yet, we'll definitely be down to P15. But let's see the grid.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Lando Norris and Leclerc, Ricciardo, Sainz, Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso, Vettel, Esteban Ocon and Raikkonen, the owner driver, Stroll, Antonio Giovinazzi and George Russell, Schwartzman, Latifi, Mazepin and Mick Schumacher. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit worried seeing Schumacher behind Mazepin there, but I realised that Mick had a grid penalty. But here we are now lining up onto the grid, and we're now revving up to 5 red lights here for the French Grand Prix. Five red lights, and they are out, and we are underway here for the French Grand Prix. I've immediately gotten ahead of Giovinazzi and Vettel. Horrible start for the two of them. Now as we're going into turn 1, it was nearly 4 wide in the lead, and Giovinazzi's had a massive crash. He's crashed into the back of his teammate, and he's gone sliding across the track. He is out of the Grand Prix, and we already have a virtual safety car. I'm up into P13. I followed Ocon through. My word. Crazy stuff there at the first corner. I'm surprised we don't have a full safety car, but overall I'm quite happy with the start I got, and we're going to be getting underway very soon. So we were not under the virtual safety car for very long, so we are once again underway here in Paul Ricard, and I'm going to send it on Esteban Ocon down the inside here, side by side with my rival. I looked to expand my exit, but Vettel tapped my rear tyre out of nowhere. What the hell was Vettel doing? And now I'm pretty much a sitting duck. Vettel's going to go flying through on the straight, so I'm going to go down into P14. Vettel goes round the outside of me, and there's not much I could do with the high aero that I have on my car. So I'm down into P14, but now it's all about keeping up with these guys. Meanwhile, Sergio Perez is in the lead. It's exactly what he needed, ahead of Valtteri Bottas and Max Verstappen. But these two guys in the pit lane who survived the crash with Giovinazzi have both got front wing damage. The weekend's getting worse and worse for Lance Stroll. Meanwhile, talking of worse and worse, here's the Mercedes on the medium tyres. Valtteri Bottas is in trouble from Max Verstappen. Around the outside goes the Red Bull. You can hear the crowd cheer. And Verstappen is up into P2. And now we move on to the end of lap 5. Back to my perspective, not much is happening. I'm trying to drag this car with my dear life, trying to keep up with the Aston Martin. But now we move on to lap 6, and the Mercedes are gaining pace again on those medium tyres. Here goes Valtteri around the outside of Verstappen. Already he made the move very easy for himself, and the soft tyres are starting to wear out for sure, and Sergio Perez is in the pit lane getting the first pit call for the Red Bull team. And now we move on to lap 9, and I'm right behind Vettel still. I'm still looking to try and push with my life. These guys are very difficult to keep up with, but the two Alpines are going wheel to wheel here through the chicane. This means I could maybe take advantage. Ocon and Alonso going wheel to wheel, side by side, still fighting each other here in the team's home Grand Prix. Ocon is looking to fight for pride here, going into the right-hander. He's on the inside line, and they'll go swooping through. And the next corner will make things very awkward here. Ocon on the inside line, he brakes later and makes an amazing move on Fernando Alonso. Good stuff from Ocon there to get into P3. And now I can try and take advantage on Vettel. I'm going to send it down the inside of him, and that should be the move done. Vettel could not do much to defend. And now I'm P3 in this little 4-car battle, and Ocon locked up into turn 1. Ocon with a massive lockup. Alonso had to be very careful there, and now that's giving me a chance to maybe have a look on the inside line of the Alpine. Here I go. No, I couldn't really make a move, but oh, there's a Mercedes engine that's gone. It's the number 44. Lewis Hamilton is out of the French Grand Prix. He's having a horror show of a season, and that has made things so much more worse. Meanwhile, that happened. The two Red Bulls and the Aston Martin are going wheel to wheel, and Sergio Perez around the outside of the both of them. Incredible stuff. Meanwhile, the battle between Verstappen and Vettel isn't over. Verstappen on fresh, soft tyres is looking to hang it round the outside. It will now turn into the inside line, and Verstappen moves up a position. These soft runners are now going to have to go through the field as they're stuck in traffic. And that means I am also the traffic. So Checo will go through. I'm not going to fight him too much. I am secretly hoping Red Bull can try and catch up to the one-stopping work of Valtteri Bottas. But Checo goes through, and Verstappen nearly sent it on my inside. Unbelievable stuff there. But now, hopefully Checo will hold up Alonso, which it looks like he is doing. I'm going to look to try and take advantage. Checo will go round the outside of Alonso. Alonso ruined his line quite a bit there. So I'm going to have a look on the outside, and I just understeered. I've understeered a lot, so Verstappen will go through. I get back on the track before Ricciardo can, and I'm wheel to wheel with him, but thankfully Ricciardo does back out. But that really did backfire for me. I was kind of hoping I could take advantage, but it clearly did not work out. But there is another opportunity for me to take advantage, as Verstappen is going to go around the outside of Fernando Alonso. Alonso could not defend with much, and those are all the tyres. So that means now I can have a go here. In the slipstream of the Alpine, we have a stronger engine than the Renault engine. Now, can we just about stick the car in? Going into the right-hander, we can do. Down the inside of Fernando Alonso. It will turn to the inside line again for the second right-hander. And the sheer understeer helped me push him a bit wide, but we didn't collide with him. We're up into P5. But now, that is really convenient timing because I'm going to pit. And guess who is in the pit lane with me? Alonso. So it's absolutely crucial that we got ahead. Meanwhile, with the battle at the front, Valtteri Bottas has exited the pit lane behind Perez, but ahead of Verstappen, so that is quite concerning for the entertainment of the Grand Prix. Meanwhile, my pit stop wasn't as good as it usually is, but I'm still ahead of Alonso, thankfully. So good job to the team to give me a just about a good enough pit stop to stay ahead of the Alpine. Now, it's about pushing on this lap, which I have done pretty well. Schumacher gave me some DRS, thankfully. So now, I'm going to find out, will I be ahead of Ocon? No! Ocon will come out of the pit lane ahead of me, which is quite irritating, but it could be worse. We're right behind him here, so we can already start thinking about making a move here on the Alpine car. Through the right-hander, I'm going to actually push him through a little bit. I really want to get past him. Down the inside of the second right-hander. Ocon will go a bit wide, and I'm going to just stick my nose in, and I'm up into P10, and I'm starting to think that maybe today is a really good opportunity to get some points here today. The one stop is serving me well, but as we move on to the lap 20, and look at the train I have here behind me. I'm pushing with my whole life. I've not really been attacked by Ocon too much, but I can't seem to shake him off. So that means at the end of lap 21, it hasn't been a great lap for me. So Ocon has a prime opportunity to try and get past me here on the main straight. He's so quick in the straight line. I'm going to try and stick my nose in into turn 1. Valtteri Bottas is out of the race. Meanwhile, I tapped wheels with Esteban Ocon, and I'm still going wheel to wheel with him, using as much overtake as I can. Now through the right hander, and look how quick he was. I don't know how he managed that, but Ocon is up into P7, and Alonso is putting the pressure on. So it's all starting to kind of crumble here. Alonso on my inside line. I'm still going wheel to wheel with him here on lap 22, but I just about managed to stay ahead of him. My word, my heart was in my mouth there. But I cannot afford to relax yet, as Vettel and Gasly are looking to try and get through. If it wasn't for the yellow flag, I'd be screwed, and Gasly hit the back of my car there. Pierre Gasly, I think he might have damage on his front wing. We could have been 4 wide going into the chicane, but the yellow flag saved me in the nick of time. And when we now move on to lap 24, and I've really lost time to Ocon. I don't know where my pace has gone, but Alonso is still putting the pressure on me here. Fernando Alonso will fly through on the straight line, and I can't really defend with much, and I don't want to risk getting a damaged front wing. I'm in P8 after all, and these are valuable points. But we now move on to lap 26, and Fernando Alonso hasn't really pulled away from me here. I'm actually starting to catch up with Ocon because of Fernando, but now I need to get past Alonso here, down the inside at the right-hander, and I'm looking to try and get up into P7. Now through the second right-hander, we go wheel to wheel, but the move is so much more simple. A little repeat there of lap 12. I'm up into P7 once again, but now I'm going to have to defend for the rest of the lap against the 2 Spaniards as we're starting the final lap of the Grand Prix. Alonso's not willing to give up here. Going into turn 1, he goes to the outside line. We're wheel to wheel through turns 1 and 2. Alonso is just about going to stick his car ahead of me here, but I'm still in the slipstream, and I'll go to the inside line going into turn 3. Alonso and Sainz managed to brake a bit later than me there, so I'm going to have to try and hold it around the outside. I think I did tap Alonso's car, and I've now slightly pushed him through the corner, but we've gotten through into P7 again. But the battling is not over, thankfully, and somehow we do not have damage to our car. But Alonso's now coming back on the straight. Here we go. Where is he going to go? He's going to go to the outside line, and he's really going to give it a go round the outside here. Me and Alonso are going wheel to wheel through the chicane on the final lap. Now we're on the back straight. I'm looking to try and push Alonso off, and this is reminding me of the 2019 battle. And Tsunoda has come out of nowhere. Yuki is going to try around my outside through the right-hander. We're going wheel to wheel with the Japanese man, and he's going to outbrake me there. And oh, we've hit the back of him. We hit the back of him. Sainz will go through. Vettel looks to go through as well. And now I'm realizing I have to try and fight. It's the final point that's on the line. I just about stay ahead on the inside line. Thankfully, I didn't have damage, and I think that is the end of that. We've gone from P7 to P10, and what can I say? There's not really much to say as we're rounding the final corner. I can't help but feel a little bit cheated, but I'm still extremely happy as we're going to score our first points in Formula 1. What a race that was!
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Fantastic win. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be proud of the victory they secured here.
Well, everyone, that was one hell of a Grand Prix, and we got a point, and I'm so happy about that. But that, guys, will end today's video. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.
Round of the World Championship. Here's how things look in the drivers' table. Max Verstappen now leads the drivers' championship. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Let's give it to Esteban Ocon. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
Let's move on to the constructors. Red Bull take over as championship leaders. Another team that excelled today was Williams, who make further progress up the table. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Like life golden. Yeah, we're golden, baby girl, we're golden. They're about to see us shine, 'cause we're golden.